Hey everyone, it's Craig with Keller Williams. Thanks again for tuning in to another Real Estate 411 for the 805. This is the second edition in this series, so I really appreciate you guys watching. I got some great feedback on the first one. Appreciate the comments. Keep them coming. If you recall in that first episode, I talked about the top 5 things that all buyers want to consider or take in mind when they're looking to purchase a home. And the number one thing was talking to a mortgage broker. And there's a whole lot that goes into that. So instead of trying to dispose of myself, I decided to bring in my friend Barry Hollander here, who's been in the mortgage industry for 27 years. He's a great source of knowledge, so I thought I'd bring him in to help us out a little bit to understand kind of how the mortgage process takes shape after we've spoken to a lender. So Barry, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Craig.
So fill me in a little bit on kind of once someone's come and talked to you, once they've filled out that application and begin to move forward with you, what are the steps it take now for someone to get qualified for that loan on a home that they may want?
Okay. So one of the most important things is before you go out and start looking at a home to buy a home, whether it's your first home, whether it's your second home or an investment property, is you do want to talk to an experienced mortgage lender, and you want to be able to understand everything that is going to apply towards your mortgage and that purchase of that property. So for example, once we get an application in from the borrower, we look at several things. We're going to look at your credit, obviously. We want to make sure that your credit scores are good. We want to see what liabilities you have, what payments are on there. If there's anything derogatory, any collection accounts, short sales, any foreclosures, because that's all going to determine on what program we can put you under, and programs have different pricing and different qualifications. We also want to look at your income.
Now, real quick, if somebody has issues with their credit, you can help them as far as taking measures to increase their credit score?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll look at it. I'll analyze it. Sometimes it's as simple as paying off a $50 collection account from Verizon and getting a letter from them, and then we can have that removed and your scores would go up. A lot of times it's just looking at your credit and say, start managing it, pay down your debts, and then 2 months from now your scores will be up. So we would look at that and we would advise on that. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's one part. And the other thing is we want to look at your income. Okay. So income could be very simple. It could be very complicated. Simple income would be if you're just a W-2, get a salary, and there's your income. It's very cut and dry. Other people have some more complex income issues where maybe there's overtime or commissions or there's irregular bonuses. So we want to make sure a good lender would determine that before it gets into underwriting, analyze that to make sure that that income is going to be used into the qualification so there are no surprises down the road.
So you'd also recommend then somebody not changing jobs or anything during the home buying process?
Changing jobs, it could be a little tricky. You can change jobs or start a new job as long as the income or the job itself remains very similar to where you were. So if you're changing into a whole different line of work, that could pose to be a problem. So we don't want to go that route. The other thing is I want to look at your assets. I want to look at how much money you have in the bank. I want to look at that for several reasons, not only to determine how much of a down payment you're going to come in with, but make sure you have enough money for reserves, which are crucial, but also to pay for closing costs. Also, we'll analyze it and say, well, sometimes it's better to maybe come in with less money down and pay off some outstanding debts, a car, maybe some credit card debt, which will overall make you qualify if you're having a hard time qualifying. So we will look at all that. And the other thing I do as a lender, and any good lender will do this, is once they determine your qualifications based on your credit, based on your income, based on your assets, then they're going to go ahead and they should discuss with you all the closing costs that are involved. And there are so many closing costs involved when buying a home. It's not just your down payment. I mean, there's the lender fees, there's the appraisal fees, there's title, escrow, there's recording, notary, there's homeowner's insurance, prepaid interest, property tax inspections, property tax impounds, escrow accounts. So there's a tremendous amount of costs involved in buying a home that you have to prepare for and understand. And it's important that once you talk to a lender will basically tell you exactly what you can qualify for, what your options are based on different scenarios, and you can plan accordingly before you get in the car and start shopping for a home. And a good realtor is going to want to know that their buyer is more than qualified, and making sure that if they do enter into a contract, that there won't be any delays or issues in underwriting, because the last thing you want to do as a borrower or as a realtor or even a seller is have an escrow cancel because someone didn't qualify, and that should never happen. So those are the main reasons why it's important to talk to a lender and get all that information, and then be armed so you can actually shop around and see what's available and out there. But that is responsible home buying right there.
All right. Well, guys, there's obviously a lot of information to know when buying a home. Talking with a lender is certainly the most important as far as, in my opinion, and the things that you should do. There's a ton of stuff that goes on. As I said in that first episode, when you're buying a new home, it's really important to actually have a connection and a contact with a person as opposed to trying to do it online, because I've seen so many deals fall through just because there's so many different things that can go into it. So being able to have contact with a person that you know is taking care of it, that's accountable, that knows what they're doing, is of the utmost importance when you're trying to buy a home. So I appreciate you coming in with me today, Barry, and talking with me a little bit. If you'd like Barry's contact information, please feel free to give me a call. I have it. I'll forward it to you. And one quick question before we go, Barry. One of the questions I'm sure you get asked a lot: how are interest rates going right now?
I love that question. You know, there's two things that I can tell you about interest rates, and I guarantee them. They're going up and they're going down. We just don't know at what time of the day they're going to do either one. So, but interest rates are good. As overall, we want to look at what's your best situation and what works for you. It's not just always the lowest rate. So,
right. Well, we're recording this on election day today, so
it is.
We'll see what happens. So anyway, Barry, thanks again for coming in.
Craig, you're welcome.
I appreciate it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Please share it on Facebook. Share it with your friends. Get the word out. I love to be able to touch as many people with this as possible. If you'd like to get in contact with me, cell phone or email me, the information's below right there. I appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thanks,